Hello, my name is Mr. Rayo S. Aburrido, and welcome to ENSP3 or Oral Communication and Public Speaking. Before we begin with Module 1, let me first give you a short background of what public speaking or oral communication and public speaking is. Well, this course is designed to assist students to become better communicators and to meet their needs, particularly in terms of improving their ability to deliver effective oral presentations before an audience with confidence and enthusiasm. This course also provides practice exercises in speaking in various communication contexts in their future workplaces. Okay, let's begin with Module 1. And Module 1 deals with the meaning of communication and the models of communication. Let's begin with the definition of what communication is. So, communication is usually, or rather, when we assume that if we have communicated something through speech, writing, or action, other people will understand what we mean and act accordingly, right? So what does it mean? Communication does not only take place with spoken language. The moment you're going to write a note to a person, that is already a form of communication. Or even when you are just going to look at the person frowning, for example, that is already a form of communication. Let us find out the timeline on how communication developed over the time. Okay, so the first model is Aristotle model. What is this model about? Well, Aristotle model involves only three aspects. So we have a communication according to this model is taking place if there is a speaker, then this speaker has a spoken language and we call that as speech, and then there is an audience. So in this model, that just like what I'm doing right now, I'm speaking. I am using spoken language to deliver a message or send a message. And you guys are the ones listening, so you are the audience. So, three basic aspects in this kind of model. The next model is the Harold Laswell's formula. What is this all about? Well, this is all about, again, there's a speaker and that's who. Then says what? That's the message. Through which medium? So this time there's a medium. Okay? And then to whom? That means to an audience. So what could be a possible medium? So when the person uses, for example, gestures without saying a word, there is a message sent there. Or when the person says something that is not familiar, for example, to the listener, then that person or that speaker is sending message to the listener. A medium could also be a form of a thing, for example, a piece of paper, for example. If I'm going to wave this piece of paper, I probably am asking who owns this paper, or who'd like to sign in this paper, or who'd like to read in this paper. Okay, so that's Harold Laswell's formula. The next model is the Shannon and Weaver's model. So in this model, we see that there is a mass medium device. And this mass medium device composes the following. So we have the info source, we have, meaning to say, the origin of the message. Then there is a message, of course. Then there is the channel. Then there is the receiver. And then there is the destination. So if you are going to imagine, for example, if you're watching TV, so you have there that news, for example, on TV, that's the info source. And then that news has a message, and then through which channel is, of course, that medium. And then you, as the person watching TV or watching the news, then you are the receiver. And what is the destination? The destination is that viewers will be informed. However, in this process, this could be distracted, meaning there could be an element that could hamper the message or the process in sending the message, and that element is what we call noise. Okay, so we may not be able to understand to get the message from the info source if this is hampered by an element called noise. The fourth model, moving on, is the David Berlow's SMCR. The acronym stands for S for source, M for message, C for channel, and R for receiver. Okay, so in S, or the source, there is what we call communication skills and the knowledge. So the source has this skill, has this knowledge, and this knowledge is sent, and this is what we call the message or the content. And then this channel could be, or this message rather, or this content could be sent into these channels, and these channels could be the five senses. Okay, so the moment, for example, you smell something that is someone, for example, is cooking adobo. Okay, so the message, there is a message there. Or someone touches or taps your shoulder, there is a message there. And of course, the receiver is the one getting the message. Okay, and the knowledge from the source is now transferred in any, or through any of the senses, of the five senses, to the receiver. So this knowledge becomes now the knowledge of the receiver. Finally, we have the Charles Asgett and Wilbur Strom's circular model. What is this model about? So circular. So it begins with a message, and then someone decodes and interprets and then encodes it, and that decoded, interpreted message is now encoded to form another message or the same message, and then this message will now be encoded and then interpreted and then decoded. Okay, and so it's circular. The end goal of this, or yes, the feedback, there is what we call feedback, and that is the end goal of this kind of model. Okay, again, so there's a message, the message, for example, there's class suspension, so it is decoded, it is interpreted, and then it's encoded. So therefore the message is that students will now leave the school. And so what is the message there? That students can go home, students can now do something else, and so on. And this message will be sent to other receiver or other recipient. And so yeah, it circulated, it is in a circular form, and the end point here is the feedback. So this is what Charles Osgood and Wilbur Schramm's circular model. Any questions? All right, good.